I am of the opinion that over the past few years, films have been getting larger and larger, and Hollywood has been trying to create enormous spectacle on a scale unlike any before. It seems like every new trailer I see is a big action movie that has the entire world at stake with tons of explosions and fairly generic plots, or it's a sequel to an already proven franchise. I can't help but think that Hollywood is getting a little scared of taking creative risks. If something isn't going to get butts in seats at the theater or make a ludicrous amount of money at the box office, they're likely not going to consider funding it. The blockbuster follows a more traditional Hollywood model of filmmaking. It's the safe bet with predictable storylines and well-known celebrities. But when the only movies you're willing to make are blockbusters, you limit yourself creatively. Cinema is an art form, and you can do so many things with the medium that go against the traditional Hollywood model, and that's exactly why I think the Florida Project is so special. The Florida Project is not a spectacle-heavy movie. The entire world is not at stake in the film, and there is no traditional good and bad guys. There are barely any big-name actors, and the film only had a budget of $2 million. This film is not a blockbuster, but it is cinema, and good cinema at that. The movie is a slice of life told through the perspective of a young girl named Mooney and her friends, all of whom live in poverty. Mooney's mother, Haley, is single and unemployed, and the pair lives in a budget motel near Walt Disney World in Florida. The movie just follows them as they go about their daily lives, struggling to make do in their situation. Haley tries to make ends meet through increasingly concerning means, and Mooney just tries to make friends and have fun. She's only 6 years old after all. Again, there's almost no spectacle. This pretty much is the entire film. The stakes aren't huge and overblown, because the movie is essentially just a window into a life. The drama forms as a natural side effect of their situation. It doesn't feel artificial or manufactured, and that makes the tension all the more impactful. Because of how the story feels, you get immersed easily, and you truly connect with the characters. It feels real. The characters all do morally questionable things. It's not easy to point and say who is a bad guy and who isn't, because real life isn't that black and white. Everything's coded in shades of gray, and the Florida Project does an incredible job showing that. Haley loves Mooney, and clearly wants the best for her daughter, but she's also rude, abrasive, crass, and even one time beats her best friend Ashley in front of her son. She's done awful, reprehensible things, but does that mean she doesn't love Mooney? No. Even bad people care about those close to them, and Mooney is all Haley has left. A lot of times you'll hear show, don't tell from people trying to give advice to novice filmmakers, explicitly telling your audience what is happening instead of subtly showing them what is happening is a common mistake that occurs in a lot of films. It can ruin the immersion, sounding more like the filmmakers assuming their audience is stupid and need the plot to be spelled out for them. The Florida Project does not do that. It understands that you are intelligent enough to connect the dots on your own. A lot of the story is told through implication rather than outright showing you it. For example, Haley dressing up and having Mooney take pictures of her, Mooney repeatedly sitting alone in the bathtub while music blares in the background, and Haley magically getting money for rent. It's never said explicitly, but it's clear that Haley has begun sex work to make ends meet, and later scenes in the film support this. There's also a scene with a creepy man hanging around the children of the area. Bobby, the manager, feels suspicious and goes to investigate. He gently leads the man away, not allowing him to turn back. Bobby forces the man to buy a soda, then berates him and threatens to call the cops if he ever comes back. They never say, "Hey, this guy likes kids a little too much," but we can make that connection ourselves through context clues and on our own knowledge without ever needing to hear the word pedophile. It's ironic, despite the film being shot primarily from the perspective of the children, it never talks down to you. Speaking of, the camera placement is very creative. A significant portion of the camera work is from a low angle, right at the height of a child. Not only are you watching a film about the lives of the children, you're also seeing and experiencing it through their eyes as well. All the joy of childhood, and even the fear as they navigate it in poverty. And the Florida Project doesn't shy away from showing you poverty. All of these locations are real. There wasn't a set made for this film. The Magic Castle Inn is a real place, and it really is as dilapidated as it looks in the movie. The helicopters that flew by in the movie weren't originally part of the script. They were incorporated into the film because they were part of the natural location. This was the same with the noisy cars and the hustle and bustle of life at the Magic Castle Inn. Everything is authentic and nothing is manufactured. Compare this to Disney nowadays, which is using CGI to create artificial environments, trying to emulate a specific location, sometimes quite poorly. Disney has received backlash over this because they're using it to replace filming on location, and it doesn't look very good sometimes. And then there's this movie, filmed mere miles from one of their own parks, and it feels more real and immersive than almost everything Disney has made recently. The final scene of the movie shows Mooney and her friend Jancy running off into Disney World together, after Mooney is told that she will need to live with another family while Child Protective Services investigates her mom. The film's ending is abrupt, and it is not wrapped up in a tidy bow. Rather, it's inconclusive, once again leaving the audience to decide how things play out for Mooney and Haley. The Florida Project is a unique film that feels so undeniably authentic and human. A film designed not for mass appeal, but to showcase a perspective we don't see much of in current Hollywood. A window into a life. A tragically realistic life. I've no doubt that The Florida Project will be remembered as one of the greatest films of the 2010s, and as one of the best in A24's diverse catalog.